Let me do this. Hold on. We can do this. So, hello YouTube chat. You can also say hi to YouTube, or you can say hi to Daily Motion, whatever. So, back in 2020, a very powerful technique for out of bounds clipping was discovered in Devil May Cry 5, known as the V skewer clips. And today we're actually going to be exploring what the route would look like if they were never discovered, if no out of bounds skips were ever discovered for DMC5. What would that look like in Special Edition is really the question of the day. Big things that we kind of got to go over is that we're going to be seeing all of the V missions now, and we're going to be seeing Nero on mission 7 instead of V, because V is faster with the skips, but inbounds Nero is faster. So that's going to change up the way that mission 7 works, and it's also going to change up the way that we do Devil Breaker routing during that mid-game section. It's going to affect the kind of the way that the magazine is made for mission 13 and 15 as well. But I have some ideas. We'll get it figured out. We'll make it happen. So I am confident we can come out of this on top. We might just have to do like one magazine setup on mission 13, and then we'll just do it. Oh, so without further ado, let's go ahead and get on into it. We are playing on human difficulty, by the way, because that's the fastest of the new game categories. So didn't want this to take forever. Obviously, we could do Legendary Dark Knight, and we'd see all those fights and everything. But for the most direct results, in terms of seeing the differences, and for the category that's been grinded the most, human's the selection here. So, in 3, 2, 1, Devil May Cry. Or, you know, my keyboard can just not work. You know, that's great. We can just quit out the game and then just actually try this when I actually feel like the worst feeling in the world would be super glue on your fingers after having consumed an entire big gulp worth of 5-hour energy. Tasting colors, feeling the glue. You'd be hearing the glue at that point, dude. All right, so in 3, 2, 1, Devil May Cry. Are you just not gonna Anyway, 3, 2, 1, Devil May Cry. Cool, sick. It worked. Good job, Live Split. You held it together. Obviously, heading into here, we're not going to see much of a difference. But I promise you, oops, shit, differences are coming. Pretty much still the same here, kind of standard affair. This is also going to be interesting because we're still going to be buying Skewer, because Skewer is still one of V's best abilities. Whew, I thought that was going to be it. We're going to do the usual buys here. Streak, split, roulette spin, and that'll be it. This was a category for a while, no major glitches, and like nobody ran it. So I eventually ended up taking it off of the vanilla leaderboards. Yeah, it was a thing where like with no major glitches runs, like a lot of people like wanted it. And then when I made it and everything, and I even did like a run to show people like what kind of time they could actually get and shit, you know. The people that ran the category were not new runners for the most part. Most of the runs for no major glitches were like old runners just doing the category. And those runs are still up on the board, they're just consolidated. There we go. Nice. Okay. Ugh. That would have been really bad, dude. So, that happened. Now, the first thing here, this is not something, this is not a skip that you see a whole lot in human runs or Devil Hunter runs, but in Legendary Dark Knight runs and on old vanilla runs still, even in current vanilla runs, there's a skip called University Skip that is done here. That allows you to skip right to either the library for the scissors fight, or if you have if you have air hike. So on Legendary Dark Knight, when you have air hike, you skip straight to the boss after these first couple of fights here. Fortunately, this is not going to be a huge difference on human, but or unfortunately, I should say, because we're not going to see like a huge difference from what people normally see. But once we reach level 5, that is where we're going to start seeing some big differences. Just trust me. So this normally, like I said, when we do the out of bounds skip here, you will not see this section at all. And eventually that's where the meta will be headed for every new game category, not just Legendary Dark Knight. And that's going to be a terrible time. Nice. The fun's going to start soon. I would consider it an exploit. Because you just kind of are swinging your toes through the fence, right? Do we just want to consider it a glitch for just, you know, for sake of it? Because, like, I don't know. I guess it's that weird gray area, right? We're just not going to do it. We're just not going to do it. I'm not trying to hear the YouTube comments. Well, you went out of bounds here. You clipped through here. We're going to grab this right here. Get this guy. And, wow, look at how much time was saved. Jeez. We could have just done the skewer clip and, you know, that would have been... Wow, that kind of almost felt faster. Jeez Louise. That was really fast. Basically on that fight, you can swing V's sandals through the fence and then clip down to the area below. Saves a little bit of time. Not a lot, as you can see, but it is there. And on New Game Plus, actually, this whole level is filled with a bunch of out-of-bounds clips with Skewer. Unfortunately, on New Game, we cannot buy Skewer until Mission 5. Not for lack of money, mind you, but the game just literally won't let you buy abilities for characters until you've played at least one level with them. Or at least until you've gotten to a divinity statue with them, if you're in their first level. Fun fact, too, it actually matters a little less to get no damages on certain missions, because we're just going to be having a naturally, like, larger economy due to not skipping fights. So there's that to consider. I think I checked, when I checked my PB for the last time, that I had no, like, V-skips in it. I had something like 16,000 extra than what we usually have. Maybe more than that. It was a lot. Alright, chat. Are you ready to see some levels, some fights that haven't been on this stream in like 3 years? Because that's what's about to happen. We're not going to be skipping. This guy's going to be taken out here. Boom. Oh, excuse me. Now we're going to head on over to this blood clot here. And then we get to actually do a couple of cool strats that I really miss, actually, in the current route. Okay. Use that to take him out. Now, if I can get this correctly. Nice. That setup I really miss. So basically during that setup, you just get Griffin next to you. And then you get the lightning from DT. Like, you get the charge through from the DT and the lightning, and then you take out both of the bats. Thank you. That guy should have died a long time ago. It's fine, though. Why did that skewer do, like, no damage, bro? And then here is actually about where we skipped to with M5 skip. So, we're going to do this. Boom. Take that guy. Cool. And we're back down to where we were before. So, some pretty fun fights. I particularly like that second one with the bats and everything. It's a pretty fun time. No clock can die. So here's where some routing is going to get interesting. So we're going to have to do an extra little menu here. All right, so we're going to grab Breaker Plus here. All right. Stay with me here, chat. We're going to grab Exceed 2. All right. Then we're going to buy a good old, like, 6 Devil Breakers here. And then we're also going to buy an extra Gerbera. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. And then we're going to do boom. Yeah, no oob 5 head, indeed. Oh, no, we're going to just remove this. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do this right here. So, that's a little different from what we normally do. Nice. Okay, cool. And now, the pièce de résistance. Instead of picking V on this mission, we get to pick Nero. And then we get to pick this magazine. We are so back, honestly. Sometimes I think to myself, why? Why were V-skips found? So what we're going to do here is just go ahead and dump a Gerbera into this room. And then they're all just dead. They're all just dead, bro. Now we get to just dunk dudes, which is pretty dope. So Buster Arm, for those of you that are unaware, just one-shots bats on human. So we get to do this. Bonk. Bonk. Bang. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and dump this Gerbera. God damn, that was good. Alright, so here's Rawhide. We're just going to go ahead and do this. Excuse me. Peace out, bit. Okay, so here we go. Also, this is a dev-intended skip. The last couple of skips we've done have been dev-intended. This is just part of the level design. Alright, so now that we're through here, now we've done kind of 2 missions that have been different. Now we're going to actually see a bunch of Mission 9. And that's going to be cool. Because, oh, here we go. Here's the cool movement. Oh, yeah, baby. Oh, shit. Oh, skating. We did it. Man, I ain't done that shit in like 2 years. Let's go. So we just went right over like a fight trigger. And then, you know, we didn't have to do a fight. And that's just exploiting the level design. That's all in-game mechanics right there. Ooh, look at that movement too. Ooh, we did it. And this skip is also not done in current route because we just skip all of this level. But you have to basically teleport through a doorway. And it's been a little while since I did this, so it might take a second. Never mind. It did not take a second. God damn, son. First try. Let's go. And that just allowed us to, you know, skip another fight. May I offer you a vitamin water in this trying time? Mineral water. Oh, got him. Bonk. You've been sentenced to Ligma. That's the 8th circle of hell, is Ligma. For those unaware. Look at that. Man, I miss some of these movement sections, dude. Moving with Kitty Scooter, like, during some of these levels used to be so fun. I'm actually surprised that, like, my muscle memory took over as much as it did here. Alright. Blast. Also a Virgil reference, for those unaware. And the funny part is, right, is that, so, to give y'all a frame of reference, this is about as much as we would have doing, like, no damages on Mission 9 and Mission 7 with the V-skips. But we've got that much now, like, just because of the extra fights that we've done. And this is just a testament to, like, really how much easier it is to no damage the missions, and also how much the orb route has tightened, that those no damages are pretty necessary now to have this kind of economy. Alright, so here's a poll, chat. Should we actually do Mission 10 skip, where we, like, activate a secret encounter and then stop a fight from activating, I feel like that's kind of glitchy. But, like, it's also kind of exploity, but also kind of glitchy. That's cheating? I mean, that's true. I never said it wasn't cheating. I just asked if we should do it. Don't do it, prove I can play the game. You know, that's true, actually. I had to do a couple of skips, because I can't be totally uncontroversial. But, coming up, we have a skip where, essentially the way that it works is there's a giant fight in the middle of this corridor after the fight that we're about to do. So we activate a secret encounter that gives you, I think, a purple orb. And when that fight is active, the fight that's outside of the room, outside of the secret fight, will not activate at all. So we use this to skip a fight. But we're just not going to do that. Instead of heading to the right here like we usually would, we're just going to head straight into the fight. And we're going to activate a fight with the Chaoses, I believe. Yep, see, here it goes, right here. So, oh, it's got Protos in it? Or Scudos, I mean? I actually didn't remember this. Forgot about that. Now those guys are dead. A lot of the run now is going to be kind of similar. Pretty similar, I should say. Because the first half of the game is really where things are pretty glitch heavy. But we are going to be talking about some things that will happen to the run in the future. Nice. NMG is pretty fun. I mean, it's kind of a window into the past, or a window into a different timeline. And if you're having problems like doing V-skips and getting runs going, then like honestly just run some NMG and just work on your gameplay. I highly encourage people to run NMG for this game if you're like kind of concerned about the V-skips being like a roadblock for you. God damn. This right here, by the way, this is definitely developer intended. Well, not this part, anyway. That's just an easier way of doing a different version, though. But this right here, this is actually developer intended as well, because there's actually a red orb bonus for completing this level without using any Nidhogg hatchlings. So, we're just going to kind of skip through a lot of these tunnels. And a trophy, yeah. I forgot about the trophy, honestly. I love how chaos... Nice. Alright, so now we're going to take a little detour here on this last menu for Nero. And this is where we're actually going to set up his last breaker magazine. So we would have done this back on M6, but because we had to get another breaker magazine, we have to set it up here. Plus, this is also where we get to buy this right here. Since this broke, we have to buy another one of these. Thanks, video game. Something I do want to talk about is that eventually there will be a skip that is implemented on this level that is going to save like 30 seconds or something, and it's with V. So this is kind of still this video is going to be future proofed for when that becomes meta. You would actually just clip out of the room that we were like in a couple of, like at the beginning of this stage, and then V actually clips out of there and then just goes right down to the last room in the mission. Probably one of the highlights of my speedrunning career was when I max acted off of that fall. I don't think I've ever felt cooler in my whole life. V here is going to be pretty similar on his last mission for mission 14. But we're just not going to be able to do some skips that are at the very end of the mission, and I'll explain those when we get there. I remember when I had Demonic Robots on commentary for this game, and it got to this part of the game, and he was like, "Oh, I recognize this. I'm a Last of Us speedrunner. This is a walking section." Alright, listen here, Scrooge McDuck. Nothing personal, kids. I feel like if AMVs were still popular, that section would definitely be featured in a Papa Roach Getting Away with Murder AMV. Just things to ponder. The skips in this section allow us to clip through the vines that are here without having to take out the blood clots in order to progress. They don't save a ton of time, but they are optimal, and they're really hard to get first try, which is when they actually save time. Alright, so now we're not seeing V probably for the rest of the mission, or the rest of the game, I mean. Also worth noting that world record this current year would be done with the game already. Kind of a frame of reference there for how much time you're actually saving with those skips. We'd already be done. Really kind of what we're doing here is sort of riding this out, and then looking for the actual time difference. Gotcha. Cool. I like how there's one pauldron of Dante's thing missing here. Well, that was one of the worst Cerberuses in my life. Interestingly enough, if we were on unpatched console for last gen, Mission 16 would be completely different now, because you would just clip out of bounds and then go straight to Cerberus. But those were patched very early on, and like right near the end of development, I think, because they're on the day one patch. We assume that the physical version of the game is on such an early copy because they have to like print the discs pretty early, that like when they were figuring out the you know, the day one patch, that got found. Cool. No major glitches Virgil, which is the same as regular Virgil, but we didn't use glitches beforehand. Nice. Alright, everybody. Throw them up. Time. Ayo. GG. Alright, so 1:18:15. There's a little bit of scuff in this run, but I'm pretty confident in saying, like, this could probably be a 1:15, even with all the skips that we didn't do, which really is a super cool testament to kind of how far this game has come. The fact that we can do this run now in this little amount of time on Special Edition is wild. This should be, you know, sort of like a showcase for people that are a little hesitant to get into the game because you're intimidated by the V skips, or you don't necessarily like a lot of the skips that we do, you know, otherwise, even if they're just exploits, you can still get a really good time without using any of those skips. There's like a route out there and everything. So thank you so much for joining me, y'all, on YouTube for this, and I hope you enjoyed the video, and keep it real.